Hello, welcome Elizabeth. We have tried some Facebook Lives, there was an echo, we tried a couple of different ways to get you on today. It's just one of those Mondays or something where the technology isn't working the best for us. So I'd like to dive right in. I'll post your biography underneath the video.
Perfect.
If we can, do you want to give just a quick summary of your background?
No, let's just dive in. That's good.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. So we're talking about our food mindset and how to handle your inner cookie monster. So I'm super interested about that. Let's start off with, how does our story influence our food choices?
Beautiful. I'll give you an example of when I really noticed what was going on. Maybe 6 years ago, I was in the office in my home, and my husband at the time was making chocolate chip cookies. He makes chocolate chip cookies between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay.
Here I am trying to pull sugar out of my diet, but he's doing that. So whatever.
Of course. It's always the people around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. So, it's my journey with sugar, not his. So I smelled the cookies. I smelled it, and I was like, oh. And kind of unconsciously got up, walked into the kitchen, and before I knew what happened, I had eaten 3 of the cookies.
Okay.
And my nervous system was ajar. It was just, I was shaking, and from that intense, I didn't have anything on my stomach. It was a big shot into the system, really bad for the body.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God. So I started just deep breathing, and I went back to the office, and I sat really quietly for a moment, and I kind of went into a meditation. I just got really still with myself. And I had this download that I remember. I had this memory of my mom bringing donuts, these beautiful glazed donuts, every Sunday morning home from the local bakery. Okay. 3 little bakers. And it was this joyous moment. And I'm like, oh, what's that about my childhood? And I realized that I was equating sugar with love.
Okay.
Right? And so we go to the doctor, and they give us a lollipop because we had a shot, or right, that's even crazier. Or we go, we have an event at school or something, and we're rewarded with an ice cream cone, right. So there's a lot of conditioning around sugar in
most definitely, yeah.
Celebrations. There's sugar.
From a young age.
It's just deep into really into the zeitgeist, and so therefore it's deep into our tissues too. And so understanding the story of why am I wanting this? It is about the sugar because of where it hits in the brain. It gives us this beautiful dopamine hit. Coming off of sugar is harder than coming off of cocaine. So it's that powerful in the nervous system, and we're equating it with love. So you're getting a double whammy in the nervous system. And so I think it's helpful to understand what it's doing and what the story we're bringing to this whole thing, and how it feeds our addiction to this substance.
So do you feel people really need to kind of be in tune with their past or their childhood and think about some of those instances, or just knowing that a lot of how we act is from a lot of what we've learned just throughout our lifetimes? Is that
sure? I think each person has their own experience around sugar as a habit, and certainly in this country and in North America just generally. And they need to, it's helpful to examine that. And it's also, I just like to add, I'm not a nutritionist, but I work a lot with food. Part of recovery, because I'm a recovery coach, and I'm a recovering chronic pain and opiate and benzo addict, and I smoke cigarettes, and I drank coffee, and so I've cleared my system from all of that.
Okay.
And then we're constantly purifying the body, purifying the body, purifying the body. Here's the mantra. Good information in, good information out. Junk information in, junk information out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when I ask myself when I'm eating, is this information going to serve my body, or is it just junk that's going to cause disease and confusion in the body?
Mm.
When I sit with a craving, because I'm kind of at the bottom end of my sugar addiction thing, so I get cravings once in a while. Most times it's about water. It's about thirst.
Yeah. Have you been drinking enough that day? And yeah.
We're dehydrated. Some of it can be emotional. So those cravings usually don't last but a few minutes. So if we sit with those and nice, long, deep breathing, that's helpful. Okay. There's another trick. It's an old yogi trick. If you put your finger over your right nostril and breathe through the left nostril, just left nostril breathing for 3 to 11 minutes.
Okay.
That stimulates the calming center in the brain. And so it's really the left nostril breathing, left nostril only breathing is very good for cravings. It's good for anxiety. It's great for, I don't know what to do with myself. It's great for any time you're chomping at the bit and you have to wait, you're feeling impatient. It's really good for that. And you can learn, after a time, you can learn to breathe through your left nostril just
without blocking it.
Yes, without blocking.
Oh,
with
interesting.
Practice. Yeah, yogis do it. Yeah, we do that. So I mean,
so it's a tactic for kind of dealing with in stressful situations or overwhelm or any of that.
And specifically cravings, sugar cravings, caffeine cravings, whatever it is, craving for your boyfriend, whatever.
Okay.
It's so it directly accesses the brain and the nervous system to help calm it.
Okay. And now, so you mentioned going through many different recoveries. How has sugar compared to some of those other addictions?
Sugar addiction is insidious. Well, hello there. How are you? I'm
my 4-year-old. Okay, honey, can you go inside though? I'm going to finish this meeting first, okay?
She's adorable. Oh my goodness.
Snuck out here.
Say no to that. So precious.
Yeah, she's cute.
So sugar is, I like to say, I've always considered that nicotine was very insidious, and it is. And there's a whole protocol for getting off of nicotine that we have available, that I have available. I can share with you another time.
Okay.
But sugar is, I just find they say it's harder than cocaine. We don't have the same withdrawal type symptoms coming out. Not that I came off cocaine, but I did come off fentanyl, which was a journey, let me tell you.
Okay. Yeah.
But it feels like it's very deep in the tissues and the yearning. And so in the gut, so let me back up just a minute. 90% of the DNA in the human body is not human. Only 10% of the DNA in the human body is human. So that other 90% resides in our gut. So all that flora and fauna in the gut, that information comes up from the gut to the brain, and then there's information that goes down. So there's this switchboard that goes between the two places.
Yeah, the communication between the two.
That's right. And if we've got critters in the gut that are used to having sugar, they're going to let the brain know it. Hey, where's right?
So much has to do with our microbiome. Yeah.
Yes. So we need to maybe get with a functional doctor or a really or a nutritionist that knows this kind of stuff, and really balance that biome, our gut biome.
Yes, very important.
And we get yeast overgrowth, and that's indicative of sugar, and there's other things that show up, and it makes us sick. And also, it's really hard on the pancreas, and it's people think people think, well, they don't realize what a load it is on the pancreas, and we need that. We have this beautiful balance of hormonal system in the body. The pancreas is a big part of that, and we build insulin resistance when we add all the sugar in there. So then we get things like diabetes, and that's very serious. I mean, I have a friend who's about to go blind because of the issue with the diet and the diabetes.
Yikes! Right.
So it's serious stuff we don't realize. So I think your answer is I think sugar might be the hardest of all to come off of.
Yeah, for sure. And especially, I mean, we have to eat, so we're always exposed to foods at all times, and it's just so ingrained in our culture and our society and our upbringings, and just that it is everywhere. So okay. And now tell me, what is emotional eating from your perspective?
Oh, well, that's has anybody here, I'll just show this example. Has anybody ever found themselves opening the refrigerator door and looking for something, and it's not there, and they don't even know why they're there, but they're,
all the time. Like, I'm just looking for something. Yeah.
So they're feeling they're feeling uncomfortable around something, and they're wanting nourishment, literally wanting some kind of nourishment, whether it's maybe for the soul, or maybe it's not so much for the body, but it's for the soul, or for their maybe they've had a trauma, or maybe they're lonely, or whatever the story is. Food is not really the nourishment we're going for.
Yeah.
We think it is, because we have so much around celebrating this event and that event is not just sugar oriented, but food oriented. There's food in all these events where we celebrate anything. So we're kind of used to it. One of the things that I did to help clear my body was to not just come down off of sugar, but to stick to 3 meals a day, and lengthen the time between my last meal and my first meal in the morning. So I'm sitting at 15 hours between dinner and breakfast.
Great. Yeah.
Right. Intermittent fasting, really good for the body. And interestingly enough, again, most of the time when I'm hungry, I'm really thirsty. And
so true.
That was
anytime you're hungry, especially like an hour after a meal. So often we say, "Oh, I'm hungry," and that's when you often reach for different snacks and stuff. And then it's always good to say, "Okay, well, when was the last time I had a glass of water?" Or, yeah, for sure.
Right. So, yeah, those are some things around emotional eating. I've learned to sit with the uncomfortable. I've learned to sit still, and nice, long, even, deep breathing.
Okay.
Eyes, go within, sit for 3 to 11 minutes, and just breathe.
Really be in tune with what your body's asking. And okay.
Or you can go outside and take a walk, be in nature.
Yeah.
Change the channel.
Yeah. It's often, just distracting for those few minutes, and then you've forgotten completely about the craving. So, okay. And is that similar strategies as for the other types of recovery? Well,
get outside is definitely one of our mantras.
Okay.
And also, we part of recovering from any of those things is good diet. Really, really clean diet, good hydration, we get dehydrated, we lose minerals when we're on these other substances, and so we have to remineralize. So we have to be very, very careful about what we're eating, and well, there's kind of a whole bunch of things, but getting outside of one of them, meditation is another.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet the mind, quiet the mind.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a bit in this summit, which is really, it's a powerful tool for sure.
Yeah, so in chronic pain and in addiction of any kind, there's changes in the brain, which brings chaos to the brain.
Okay.
So if we can just, meditation would be the number one tool. If you ask me, what's the tool? That would be it, because that helps us quiet the mind, calm down, settle down.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps to retrain the nervous system that it doesn't need all this stimulation.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So really important. And I just want to encourage anybody, if you're not a meditator, please, it's not something that's hard. It's actually, meditation is your actual true nature, just being. There's nothing to do in meditation. It's very, so please don't be shy or concerned about, oh, I can't do it. It's too hard for me. It's nothing to be further from the truth. Really, you just need a maybe someone experienced in meditation to come show you the way, and you've got it. It's beautiful practice.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are not even intimidated by it, but a lot of people don't understand why they should be meditating, or it's just taking those few minutes in the day when you're kind of rushing around to actually take the time and just sit with your thoughts. That often we just kind of, it's another thing to put off and do later, I guess. So.
And it would be sitting and watching your thoughts rather than being in them.
Being the observer. Okay.
Not participating in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get away from. Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing I'll say about meditation, because we just sit quietly and watch our thoughts, but and every meditator I know has this is part of the human condition. We'll be meditating, watching a thought, oop, here's this one, and all of a sudden we're off to the races.
Rabbit hole, yeah.
It steals our attention away. And then all of a sudden we realize, oh, I'm supposed to be meditating. Right, and we come back, and we watch our thoughts again, and watch our thoughts, and whoop,
for sure.
Right, and we come back, and it doesn't matter how many times you get distracted by your thoughts in meditation. It matters how many times you come back. That's every meditation is perfect.
Yeah, and that's good to remind people too. It's you're not doing it wrong if your thoughts take off, and that's just a natural part of the process. So I think a lot of people think that they're failing or that it's not for them or something.
There's no grade here.
No,
everybody gets an A+ as long as they're actually in the process.
Doing it. Okay. So to close up here, if we go back to that inner cookie monster, how can we harness the inner cookie monster? Are there some additional strategies? So along with drinking water, paying attention to gut health, is there anything else that you'd like to mention?
Well, the left nostril breathing is really
important. That's a good tool.
And this being able to sit with the uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that is, it's almost an art. It's almost an art, and it's a massive self-love practice.
Okay.
I'm uncomfortable, and it's okay, and I love all of it. I love part of myself, even though it makes me really uncomfortable. I love this part of myself. I accept that this is who I am, and where I am right in this moment. Huge. It's a huge, right?
Yeah.
So just do that, even for 3 minutes. That would, you'll notice a change. You'll notice a change, and you'll be glad you did.
Great. And that's a great tie-in too, we've had a lot of conversations about self-love, and so that's a good tie-in between the two. Now you're offering a free gift to the audience, a free 15-minute stress management session, which is awesome. Do you want to just tell people about that quickly?
Yeah, we can get a lot done in just a few minutes. Just let me connect with me. I think I gave Susannah a link, and connect with me, and we'll get started. And there's a lot of tools that I have in my tool belt that are quick, and we'll be happy to help you with get you started with one or two things. Yep.
Okay, awesome. That's great. And do you want to close with maybe a positive affirmation or a mantra? What is you mentioned the junk in, junk out.
Right. Yeah. Well,
is there another one you live by?
I think I'll leave everyone with this one. You are your greatest healer.
Great. Very true. You are your greatest healer. So important. Okay. Thank you so much for meeting with me, and
thank you, Susannah.
It's too bad the live didn't work out, but this is our backup. So there we go.
Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this beautiful summit that you have, and all the best to you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye now.